Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV. How is everyone today? Hope that you're doing really, really well and you've had a good day, good Wednesday, whatever you're doing and wherever you are. So today on this live chat, we're going to talk about lots of different things. We're going to be talking about the possible rumours about the new kit for next season and its mosaic design that could be implemented within the actual kit, but we'll wait and see what happens. But I'll show you some of the mosaics that allegedly, according to the headline, and I'll give them a shout out of footy headlines with regards to that. Also, we'll look at a good article about the stadium development. It's an update from an article I spoke about earlier in the summer. Also, we'll talk about Riyad Mahrez. Riyad Mahrez obviously had a wonderful game for Algeria. We'll talk about Sergio Aguero, another car crash he's been involved in, but he's okay, thankfully, and he's been back in full training, or training to a certain degree. We'll talk about Koulibaly, rumours are sort of surfacing again, and then all the other sort of media roundup news and things like that today. So we'll see. We'll see who's on at the moment. Edward Denham, how are you? How are you, buddy? Hope you're well. And you're doing well today. So before I do that, what I'd like to do is, while sort of waiting for people to come on, is what I'd like to do is remind you of a video that I put out this morning, and it's on the artwork, and it's an auction that we're doing. We're doing another auction, and it's all, as you know, Tackle for Manchester is Man City Fan TV's nominated charity, and what we're trying to do is raise £3,000. We've already sold some artwork a number of months ago, but we've got some more, and one of them is another Centurions, which is signed by pretty much all the Centurion team and Pep Guardiola, and it's amazing. And also, we've got a signed Phil Foden piece of artwork, and also a Leroy Sané signed piece of artwork. And as you can see by the image on the screen at the moment, these are all hand drawn sketches with pencil by a really lovely lady called Leslie Ross, and she donated some pieces of artwork to us and took it to Tackle for Manchester. They sent it away, got it signed, and there's also letters of authentication as well, that of authenticity that comes with each particular one. Now, I've already had bids already come in for certain pieces of artwork, and what I'll do is I'll keep updating those. If you want to bid, what you need to do is you need to make sure that you contact us via email. Genuine bids only. We will check you out. What we don't want to do is, we had a bid for the Phil Foden one on the last one, and then when we went back asking, to pay up, they said, "Oh, circumstances have changed and I can't afford it now." And so we left it, and we thought we'd put it in a few months later into another auction bid, which we're doing right now. So genuine bids only, if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, don't do it. That's my advice to you. So yeah, that's the auction. Go over, like I said, I put the video on the channel this morning, so you can go over. I'll show you the different pieces of artwork. I'll show you the letters of authenticity as well that come with each one, and we will send them to you wherever you are in the world, free of charge. And with Christmas coming up, these are absolutely amazing bits of artwork, one-offs that you're not going to get. So also, I do mention on there about a shout out to Leslie Ross. She's created a wonderful book that's coming out, I think next month, maybe sometime. And it's of all the artwork into a hardback, and I'm not sure whether there's a paperback version, I'm not sure, but certainly a hardback version of all of those particular ones. And if you want to pre-order those, just get in touch with Leslie on Twitter, and I know she's donated one to each of the players who were involved in the Centurion artwork. And there are some shirt numbers available. I've already selected mine, and you can have it personalised inside with a with a shirt number, let's call it, or a book number. So go over and check out those. Can't remember what they were. I think it's about £40, I think, each for the hardback copy. But great for your coffee table to put around on your library, that type of thing. So big shout out to Leslie Ross. Go and follow her on Twitter if you're wanting one of those. So let's get back, see who's on. Noah Donis is on. Hey, Andy, how are you, buddy? Kurt Zuma's on. No, not the Kurt Zuma. Hello. Barry Abdallah, hello. How are you? I'm very good, mate. Dank City, hey, how are you, Forehead? Hope you're well, buddy. Kurt Zuma, I am king. King of what, mate? Alexander's on. Hi, Andy. Nice shirt, mate. Thank you very much. That's an old one. Glen Mountain, Koulibaly on his way to the mighty City, you reckon? I don't know, maybe. But there's a little bit of sort of brighter news of whether Napoli would actually let him go. We know that they were trying to sort of say he had £120 million release clause. Maybe it's changing slightly. We'll see. No, Adonis, I'll give you Mustafi for that painting. You're all right, buddy. Hello, mate. Cal's on. How are you? How are you and the family? Yeah, good, buddy. Busy day. Just making a ragu for dinner. So a bit of a spag bowl later. Alexander, I've heard some rumours that City see the Inter Milan striker Lautaro as Sergio's future replacement. Interesting. Where's that from? Scott Williams, Evening Blues. Hope everyone is good. Good. How are you, Scott? Hope you're well. Cal Blundell, yes, sexy Zuma. Interesting. Let's get into having a look at the first thing today we're going to talk about, and that is the kit for next year. Now, I'll show you the picture and I'll read a little bit from the article from Footy Headlines. And looking at the actual article, and this is on Footy Headlines, who have been pretty solid with regards to their information. And it says, we can today give you the info about Manchester City's new 2021 home kit, which is the second in history made by Puma. It goes on to say that the Manchester City 2021 home jersey will ditch the purple of Puma's first Man City home kit. It will combine the traditional club colours, the sky blue and navy, team light blue and peacoat, it's called officially. Team light blue is the same shade of colour used for the Puma Man City 1920 home kit, whilst peacoat is the brand's standard navy used for some items on the Puma's 125-year collection items. In terms of design, everything indicates that Man City's new 2021 home jersey will not clean, but rather outstanding. I'm sure that means not be clean, but rather outstanding. It says also the 2021 home kit will be crafted from culture, and these are in quotes, with graphics inspired by the city's architecture, landscape, music and arts. And these must-haves are eye-catchers both on and off the pitch. Mosaics are prominent within Manchester with icons such as Vimto, Factory Records, Oasis, Rolls-Royce, the Sex Pistols and Colin Bell, who have all been immortalised through tile artwork. We also know that, and in quotes, this tradition of mosaic medium has been applied to the classic Manchester City home jersey. We expect the new 2021 home jersey to either be released in May 2019, I don't think it's May 2019, or July 2019. So we'll wait and see about this. I think they actually mean Footy Headlines, and this is just for you guys, maybe May or July 2020, I think is what you're actually referring to. So as you can see, there are loads of mosaics around the city of Manchester, and if you've not seen them, go and see them, take some photographs with them, and what you'll be able to do is sorry, let me just remove that from there and remove the actual artwork from here as well. So go and have a look if you're around Manchester. I know that Akio Fernandez from Twitter, he's coming over to Manchester later this week, and he's going down to the Palace game, and he'll be around for the midweek game next week, and also the home game next next weekend as well. So, Akio, go and visit those mosaics if you see this particular video. So, how they're going to incorporate these, God only knows. But I don't know. I'm not sure how they're going to do it. But they're going, by all accounts, footy headlines, like I said, who've been pretty reliable on kits at Man City, have said that they're going to drop the purple. I don't think it's gone down too well, if I'm being honest. But if you're a kit person, you'll know more about it than me. But what they're saying is they're going to go back to a traditional navy or a darker blue peak coat, I think it's called, as they said on there. So what are your thoughts? Is it something that is a bit out there, it's a bit too much? Or should we go back to something more traditional like the 125th anniversary kit? Because for me, that would have been iconic this season. Let's see who else is on. Cal Blundell, I have to take the girlfriend out tonight. Oof, well, if you're snoring, mate, she shouldn't be your girlfriend. Are you or Martin going to the Palace game? I can't make it this weekend. I don't think Martin can either. I'm not sure. I don't think so. But we'll still be doing loads this weekend. I had my first exam today in college and I smashed it. Well done, Cal. Alexander, great news in my opinion. Glad they're going to put the navy blue instead of the purple. I don't like the sky blue and purple combination. Makes no sense to me. Still traditional old colours, but I don't think it works as well as certainly the sky blue and white, let's call it. Well done, Cal. Congratulations, says Noah Donis. Noah, Andy, who do you think has the best kit in the Premier League? Interesting. I'm not too sure, mate. I'll be honest with you, everyone who knows me on the channel, I'm not a kit person. I haven't bought a kit since I was about 13 years of age. I don't buy tops. I don't buy City shirts. I've got one that I bought, which was the red and black. That was more like a sweatshirty type of top rather than a kit. I'm just not into kits. I never have been, because my days of following City, you didn't tend to wear your colours as much because of the days in the 70s and 80s with hooliganism and things like that. You were pretty much putting a big cross on your back. So I sort of got out of kits when I was a teenager and never really got back into them, if I'm honest. But that's just my opinion. So you're probably the wrong person to ask. I don't know. I don't look at the teams and go, oh, that's a nice kit. I love that kit. I love, obviously, the old school City kits. I still think the red and black one that we did with Umbro is an absolute classic. I think that's superb and would be my number one choice, apart from this 125th anniversary kit that they were in, which I thought was amazing. What else? I love the obviously the iconic 99 yellow, even though it's garish, is still a classic. I love the red and black old 70s and the updated version that they did for City. They had a red and black stripe. It was like the old Crystal Palace top, but they did one for City. And they also, I think, if I remember rightly, they also did something pretty similar with a sky blue and a navy blue with white kit. So for me, they're for me the classic ones. I still like the old classic standard ones. If I had to choose, so I'm not really that sure. I'm probably not the best person to give you an opinion on who's got the best kit in the Premier League. Hope they'll produce collar kits. Yeah, maybe. Cal says, just know she's going to go for the most expensive thing from the menu. Every girl's right to do that. Don't be a cheapskate. Bernard's on. Hi, Andy and guys. How are you, Bernard? J Fresh, is Rob not here anymore? No, he's not on the channel anymore, mate. Scott Williams, 125-year shirt for me every day with Marquis Smith on the back, or badly drawn boy with do one. I think it is. I was surprised he didn't really go for it this season. Celebrate this season with something like that, because it does look amazing. It is a proper old school kit. For me, it's one of the best I've seen. Alexander Savage, no, Adonis, I'd say either Wolves or Bournemouth. Not sure I like the orange of Wolves or gold or whatever. Carbondale, I want a pink and blue and silver Everton kit. Pink and blue and silver. I want a red away kit as well. Think it would look good. Alex says, oh, big jump there, sorry. Alex says West Ham have some proper kits as well. Probably because Umbro always makes superb kits. And I know we're probably living in the past, but they do make classic kits. If I had to pick kits from around the world, obviously the AC Milan. That's why I like the red and black kit City. And I think brilliant kit. I used to love the AC Milan kits. I like the Juventus kit, the black and stripes. So, maybe the Newcastle kit. There you go. I don't know. John Grogan, full of lurgy. Premi's back. Come on, boys. Know how you feel, mate. Hope you get better soon, buddy. No Adonis. Alexander, in my opinion, Everton has the best home kit and Arsenal has the best away kit. Wow. Alex, Everton has a nice home kit. Yeah. Umbro. Alexander, Scott Williams, Marquis Smith and the Fall, proper music. Scott says, Alex, Marquis Smith was a proper blue. Cal says, Nike make bad kits and all Nike kits look the same. They have a standard template. That's why City fans didn't really like Nike. It was just like a rollout of everybody else's kit, but a different colour. Proud of the blue musicians we've got. Well, hopefully you might see on these mosaics next year. Who knows? We'll wait and see. So let's have a look at what else we're going to have a quick talk about. On the back of the stadium. Now, if you don't know this guy's on Twitter, and it's called David Crook. Now, it's called Crookie Monster, I think it is. Now, he writes for Fansided, and he wrote a really interesting piece going back a while, I think it was now. It was early on in the summer, I can't remember. But he wrote a really good article about the development of the stadium. And he's wrote another really good article today that's in. And don't forget, it's called Fansided. And he writes some good stuff. And he said that under the clear leadership of owner Sheikh Mansour, have acquired neighbouring patches of land and have contributed to the redesign of the area. The City Football Academy complex is one stark example, but there have also been initiatives alongside the local council to develop and improve local housing provision and local transport infrastructure, which is needed. The next phase of the development has for some time been about attracting more businesses and de facto employment opportunities to the local area. Much of this has centred upon the idea of making the Etihad campus site busy on more days so as to allow businesses like hotels and restaurants to thrive alongside it. This idea is supplemented by additional residential development, an attempt to create a thriving local neighbourhood on the edge of the city centre. Back in June 2019, it was announced that the local council had published a revised area development plan, which gave in effect the green light to the next phase of this intended development. Subsequently, it was announced that a US firm called Oak View Group had been commissioned to develop a new indoor arena on the site. The intention is to build a large 20,000-seater indoor arena adjacent to the Etihad Stadium, and this venue will hold pop concerts, theatre performances, basketball matches, and will open for around 150 nights a year. When coupled with the existing Etihad Stadium, this will mean there is enough of a thriving centre upon which to develop the rest of the site. The proposed location of the arena is on the left of Joe Mercer Way, which links the existing blue car parks to the Etihad Stadium. Apparently, the arena will be called the Etihad Arena and will cost around £300 million to build. The name probably gives away where the investment is coming from, because it would seem that Sheikh Mansour is funding much of the local redevelopment. Currently, there is some ongoing and local consultation with residents, and the initial architect designs are being displayed. There are likely to be some objections with regards to traffic congestion, which may require some further investment to solve. In addition, the owners of the existing arena, Manchester Arena, have objected, but Oakview maintain that other cities are able to maintain more than one such venue. Now, the consultation process will continue in the run-up to Christmas, but a planning application to deliver the strategy could be in place by early next year. And if everything goes to plan, given the investment is already in place, work could actually begin to transform the area very quickly indeed. Visitors to the site at the moment will see some drilling rigs at present, which are being used to test soil and underground structures as part of the planning process. And as this development continues, it's worth remembering that alongside the arena is the plan to create a retail and restaurant corridor linking the arena and the stadium, supported by new service and leisure developments like hotels. There is also a plan to increase the existing capacity of the Etihad Stadium up to 63,000 from its current 55,000. All in all, this continues to be an exciting time for Manchester City, who seem to be matching their domination on the pitch by redevelopment of a whole city. What a time to be a fan! And that is that's David Crook on Fanside. So if you want to go over and, Fansided, it should be. If you want to go over and have a read of the article and everything else, and the other stuff that David Crook puts out, he's a big City fan, then go over and have a look. So as you can see, plans are afoot, and that whole area could be absolutely phenomenal. So let's go back to your comments. I was on, the only kits I've ever liked was the 70s City home, all of the kits since Bobbins. Yeah, I like the obviously the classic 70s ones. I said I liked the black and red stripes. I do like that black and red stripy Umbro kit from honest. Juventus, you mean Piemonte Calcio? Andy, what do you think is City's best international outside the UK fan base? What do you think is City's best international? I don't know what you mean, best international. Alex Ivor, Umbro 2011-12 kits were fire, in my opinion. Hi, Andy, hope you're well. Very good, mate. Cafe Del Casual 89. Sold it, sold. Not for me. What are you talking about there, mate? Talking about the stadium? Alexander, Andy, do you think the Etihad will open more seated stands in the future? I think the plans have always been that. And I've said this before about safe standing. I think the reason why they've not extended any further is I think they don't want to extend by another 5,000 or 8,000, etc. Some fans will go, yeah, because you can't sell the tickets. So we proved that yesterday that's not true. But I think they're going to wait. Why redevelop an area until they know whether the government gives the green light to have a safe standing? Because if that's the case, it does change the whole plans and the dynamic of the stadium itself. So I'll be surprised if they put in more seats or just all 8,000 if it does go to 8,000. And that might be a 5,000 and a 3,000. You don't know whether it'll be done in two phases. I'll be surprised if they're all seats unless the government turn around and say, no, we're not going for safe standing. It's that simple, in which case they'll have to be seats. So I think we'll hold fire and net for now and just wait and see. Best fan base outside the UK, mate. Oh, right. Hard to say, mate. You've got some of your German teams where they're just fanatical. You've got obviously Dortmund in particular. Their fans go mental. Some of the Eastern European fan bases, from a fan base point of view, make a lot of noise. It depends on what it is that you're asking. I've said if City expand the stadium, I seriously will handpick my games. No way I'm standing in that morgue if they install more seats for the dead. Ooh, there's a by Ivor. Ray J 737. Hope United can miraculously get a draw so we can start chipping away at the Liverpool's leads, assuming we beat Crystal Palace. Yeah, don't we all, Ray J 737? Do you think United can get a result? We're just doing our predictions league video at the moment, and you won't be impressed with my result. I think they'll get battered. If I'm being honest, I think I've gone for a 4-1 Liverpool. What's your opinion on sponsored kits, Andy? It's all revenue. If you want players, at the end of the day, if you want players, you want money. Everything's money now. And at the end of the day, if you want to buy players, and that's the way it's going, you need sponsorships. It's that simple. Scott says, not looking positive with De Gea getting injured, typical Scouse luck. I don't know how serious it is. I've not heard much of it, I must admit. Bernard says 2, Liverpool 2, Rags 0. It might be bigger than that, Bernard, if I'm being honest. Anyway, let's go back and have a look at the next little thing. And this is, if I can find it, we're going to talk about this man and what's happened to him again. Can't believe it. What's going on? Sergio Aguero has been involved in another car crash. This time he's wrecked his £150,000 Range Rover, customised Range Rover. Thankfully, he wasn't injured and nobody else was in the incident this week. But he's back in training and everything seems to be fine. And there's no problems with him whatsoever. So probably a couple of hours worth of his salary to get that repaired. I mean, I think if it was me or you, we'd be going, oh my God, is it a write-off? I don't know, maybe it is. Depends what damage has been done underneath it. So he's very lucky. But thankfully, nobody was actually injured in this particular incident. And like I said, he has been back training again. So one of these days, Sergio, be very careful because we know he's back. There's the latest image of Sergio in training. He's looking happy. We know he's had a couple of weeks rest away from the Argentinian squad, and the fact that he's on this. I don't know whether it's true or not. Whether he's on this particular sort of training regime that, according to the Argentinian coach, he's not training 100%, whether that be he was talking solely about City or whether he was talking about Argentina. But the good news is he's actually back, and I think he'll be firing for this weekend now after he's not had international games, which is good news for us and hopefully good news for the results, certainly at the weekend. So let me just have a quick look back and see what the comments are on here today. If we're talking about the looks, I honestly like the kits being sponsored. Don't like the sleeve sponsorship though. It'll get worse. It'll be on shorts. It'll be on the back. His bird was probably distracting. Maybe. No, we won't go there, Bernard. Ivor says, never seen more serious Andy. I'll do my best just to go away game. Never been more serious Andy. I'll do my best to go to away games. Save the hassle and expense of going home. 214 was supposed to be the singing section. It's now full of tourists paying 47 quid a pop. Well, Ivor, we spoke to you about this, did the video. We talked about atmosphere and the problems, and you're starting to moan now, Ivor. Like you said, you accused Danny of moaning on there. But yeah, I mean, I think fans, we'll wait and see. Was Wolves just a real one-off? Because the Wolves game, it was very, very depressing that there was just very, very little singing, which there is singing, don't get me wrong, there is singing at most games. The atmosphere is generally not too bad and very, very good for the big games. So, I'll hold fire for now. But if it's getting that way and it's anything like the next home game is anything like, the Wolves game, which I really was very disappointed with. It was depressing. Not only the result, but the atmosphere was terrible. Then, I think you'll start seeing more and more of this, and maybe it's a discussion for another time with regards to it. And maybe we'll revisit this whole debate in depth again and just do a 1 hour special where you guys can get involved. We'll pre-prepare it. We'll give you questions, and you can post them on here and get into a bit of debate about it. So, Cafe Del Casual 89, I agree with Phyllis. Yeah, I mean, you've seen my videos and things like that on it, and I've had my say on the whole thing. Alex says, I saw that he's not 100% ready for the Palace game because of the car accident. No, I think he's fine, mate. Don't think there's any problems with him. Cubs driving is as bad as his recent finishing. Well, that one was. Remember the one in Holland? I think he wasn't driving. He was in the back on that one as a taxi. Um, Scott says Ivor doesn't have much more luck with taxes either. Yeah, true. Ivor, his missus says he's crap at finishing as well. Martin's on. Hi all. Hope we're good. Apologies for being very late. Don't worry. Few hellos there from Bernard and Alex. Hi, Andy and Martin. Mingy Wong. How are you, buddy? Alex says, is it forbidden to invade the pitch when your team wins a title? I thought it was a bit weird that nobody ran to the pitch when City beat Brighton last season. Depends on how they control it, mate. It is supposed to be an offence, but normally the people don't take any stewards and things like that. Normally let you go on, especially if it's at home. I think the problem being is it was an away game. And I think this day and age, they try and control it to the best of their ability if it's an opposition team winning the league. I think if it was at the Etihad, they just would have allowed them on the pitch. I don't think anyone would have stopped them. It would have been one of those things. Right, let's have a look. Also, Aguero, John Stones, as we mentioned yesterday, and Kevin De Bruyne are back. And fingers crossed, they'll both be fit for this weekend's game. Here's hoping anyway. One other player we'll want to talk about is Riyad Mahrez. Now, Riyad Mahrez, as we know, was captaining Algeria, and wow, he's been on fire, absolutely on fire. We've also had Ilkay Gundogan coming out after the Wolves game and saying basically it's never easy to head off for an international fortnight having lost. And I think the players were a little bit down, so maybe that this 2-week break has come at a good time to regroup. And Mahrez last night scored 2 goals. One was an absolute beauty and provided an assist as Algeria saw off Colombia. With Colombia, a decent team, saw them off 3-0. But we know against Wolves, it wasn't, after a decent start to the season, he was back to his frustrating best. But then I guess everybody was. Gabi apparently played really well and was voted as Brazil's best player, even though they drew 1-1 with Nigeria. So he'll be travelling back from there this week, should be back sometime today or tomorrow. And we'll basically see what happens. We know that Bernardo Silva scored for Portugal. Otamendi got 90 minutes for Argentina against Germany. Zinchenko was clearly on a high. If you've not seen the video of Zinchenko celebrating after a historic 2-1 win against Portugal, when he's with the female presenter and his teammate, going absolutely mental because they qualified. Ederson got a clean sheet. Ederson and clean sheet for Bravo, and players needed gone away playing for the countries. Aguero, Fernandinho, De Bruyne, Benjamin Mendy and David Silva all got the time they needed for a rest and recuperation. So now only long-term victims, Leroy Sané and Aymeric Laporte, are not in training. So well done to Riyad Mahrez. And Algeria doing fantastically well at the moment, looking a very, very impressive team at the moment. So back to your comments before I do the final bit of news. Let's see. Blah blah blah. Where are we up to? Okay. That was Alex talking about invading the pitch. So the last little bit of news is transfer talk, and this comes from the official Man City website, and by Rob Pollard. And the first one is coming from Goal, and it's about Napoli identified Koulibaly replacement. It says Kuno Fayiga writes, with the increasing likelihood of the Senegalese centre-back leaving the San Paulo, they've not wasted time in finding another option. Serie A giants Napoli have targeted Atletico Bilbao's Unai Núñez as a potential replacement should Koulibaly be sold at any point. The Senegalese defender has been heavily linked with a move away from the Stadio San Paolo, with Manchester United, Manchester City and Real Madrid jostling for his signature. Stuart Brennan talks about Ruben Diaz and Koulibaly, and he says, so all the talk of City being in the chase for the Benfica defender Ruben Diaz, who they considered in the summer, or being prepared to break the bank for, Napoli ace Koulibaly, and agent chatter at best, wild speculation at worst. So is, according to Stu Brennan of the MEN, he's thinking it's more his agent touting him out there more than anything else. Obviously, we talked about Riyad Mahrez, and obviously we've got the Man City women team, and in The Guardian, Susanna Rack writes, a new season brings a new journey, and talking about Tony Duggan, having scored in Barcelona's 2-0 defeat of Atletico in front of a league record 60,739 fans last campaign, switched to the league winners this summer. A roller-coaster start to the season, however, has showed that this is not the same Atletico Madrid side that outclassed Manchester City in the round of 32 last season. In their second league game of the season, for example, they suffered a humiliating and shocking 6-1 defeat to Barcelona. A 90-minute goal from somebody called Torrecilla ensured a 3-2 victory in Serbia against Spartak. The team are third in the league, only a point behind Barca and second place Deportivo, and it's not quite time to panic in Madrid, but with the manager departing for personal rather than performance-related reasons, according to the club, Atletico are going through a difficult period. The fairly unknown Pablo Lopez, who has managed the men's team in Segunda B and the third and fourth divisions, has stepped up until the end of the season. So the trip to the northwest of England will be his second game in charge, having started with a 1-0 win at Levante on Saturday. The game, which is on tonight, could not have offered a bigger test of his tenure. City are flying in all competitions. Nick Cushing's team are unbeaten and have only conceded a once in 7 games. Revenge for last season's frustrating Champions League exit, beating 2-0 at home after drawing 1-1 in Madrid, will be on their minds too. In Duggan, though, Atletico perhaps have the key to unlocking City if they can take advantage of her knowledge of the opposition manager and pick her brains on how to handle the 11 City players that she played with internationally. So good luck to the women's team in that particular game, and fingers crossed they come back with, or they actually take a decent lead into, I think, is it the return leg. Let's go back finally just to see if there's anything else. 2012 and 19 title celebrations, very different. Stones and Furnace start versus Palace, hoping for that. Mingy Wong, I'm okay so far and hope Aguero hasn't injured himself. He's fine. Paul Standall, are the kits the ones that were on the Inside City a couple of weeks ago? Bernardo was putting badges on it, etc. I'm not sure about that, Paul. Sky Blue Oz, how are you, mate? I spoke to you for a while, hope you're well. I'm a happy soul, love so many things about MCFC. Danny, struggle to find any positives about the club. I'm just sickened by the fans like a passion and boring tourists and their phones. Julie Dolan, how are you? Julie Dolan's on. I hope you're well. That's Julie and her alien hats. Edward Denner, big thanks to anyone who reviewed my Zagreb match report. Well done to all the Blues that have been on their travels. Yeah, so that sort of rounds up today. Don't forget our preview with Palace, and we've got that with opposition fan channels. We're doing that. That will be out, excuse me, sometime tomorrow morning, and we'll also have the predictions league and see what Kiam and Martin and myself and Ryan and what's our predictions for this weekend's games. That video, short video, we changed the format slightly. We're not doing long 1 hour sort of videos. We're going to keep it short, snappy, just giving you our predictions. And so it'll be 15, 20 minutes. So you can go over and have a look at that particular one. Andy, are you going to do match week predictions video? Yes, just mentioned that. Slightly catching up there, Alexander. Yes, we will, but it's going to be a shorter version. It's not going to be an hour like they have been doing previously. They're going to be sort of 15, 20 minutes, and we'll have different guests on each week giving us their predictions. So if you want to get involved, all you have to do is send us an email. And that is to mcfcfantv@gmail.com. So all you need to do is just record. You don't have to be on camera. It can be an audio. Just with a list of games, just giving us what your score predictions are, and we'll change it around each week with different guests. A lot going on, so being away for a while. I hope you're feeling well and your wife's well. Oz, really do. Martin, big push for 10k, guys. Nearly there now. Yeah, we're not far off. I think 70, 80 off, something like that. Pep will start Otter against Palace. You watch, mate. Wouldn't surprise me. Take care, Craig Forrest. You too, buddy. Ray J737. Yeah, I think it will be Otter and Stones at the back. Alexander Otamendi shouldn't be starting. I'd be surprised if Fernandinho. I'd be surprised if he pairs Otamendi and Stones at the back, for the simple reason that means possibly dropping Rodri, because I can't see with Fernandinho having 2 weeks break how Fernandinho doesn't get back in the team. So for me, I think it could be Fernandinho and John Stones, if I'm being honest, because Otamendi's been away with Argentina. And are we going to drop Rodri now? If we drop Rodri and rest him, play Ferner in the back, in the middle of midfield, then maybe. Hi Kamal, hope you're well. Have you got a quiz planned, Andy? Not at the moment, mate. We've just done one, so we will do another in the future, but not just yet. It takes too much planning and everything else. Plus, we've got a busy week or so with games coming up and everything else. It's one of those that what we'll do is we'll maybe at the next international break or something like that, we'll do one. I hope Otter does not start, says Ray. Otter and Stones. So, Alex, you think Fernandinho's been dropped even though he's been rested for 2 weeks? Yeah, I think so too. And he may also put Dino in midfield. So again, I would drop in Rodri. Mingy Wong says, I hope Otamendi doesn't start Saturday, but he will. Next quiz is when Section 20 is on holiday. Yeah, maybe. Not Otamendi at all for me. Stones and Fernandinho for me, says Kamal. Pep said Fernandinho is unstoppable. Oh, you mean undroppable? Yeah, you do. Wonder if we'll get to see Rodri playing centre-back and Ferner. Who knows, maybe. Hey, we get beat by Palace, you never know. Rodri scored for Spain, late leveller. He'll be buzzing. Dino is our best defender, right? So it has to be him and Stones. I'd go for Fernandinho and Stones, if I'm honest. Maybe Rodri and Stones in the back with Ferner at DM. I can't see them dicking about with Rodri. Plays consistently as a central midfielder, CDM, and then suddenly we're whacking Fernandinho back in midfield and we're shoving him at centre-back where he's unproven. I can't see that one, I'll be honest with you. In the future, maybe, but I'd be very surprised. I think my personal opinion would be Ferner and Stones at the weekend. But anyway, don't forget, go over, check out the video. If you're late to hear, I put out a video this morning, and it's all to do with the artwork tackle for Manchester live auction. So we've got another 3 pieces of artwork on here, and you can go over and check those out. And there's a Phil Foden signed piece of artwork. There's a full Centurions team all signed with Pep Guardiola piece of artwork, and there's also a Leroy Sané signed piece of artwork, all going to tackle for Manchester. So we're trying to raise £3,000 if possible over the coming months, and hopefully this will go towards that particular target alongside the other stuff. But anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. I want to say a massive thank you for everybody for coming on. Really do appreciate it. Don't forget, check out the videos. Spread it around if you like to your friends, whoever. If you're not a subscriber, tell them to subscribe. Click that bell icon. Keep commenting below the videos. And don't forget, if you've got any ideas, send us an email to mcfcfantv@gmail.com. As I said, there'll be the Palace preview with an opposition channel, and also the prediction videos coming out sometime tomorrow. But anyway, have a wonderful evening wherever you are. Take care. We'll see you soon.